Welcome to the Bay. Today we are stepping into the ring for a true heavyweight title fight, a battle for the 1440p gaming crown. In the blue corner, you've got the reigning champion, NVIDIA's powerhouse, the RTX 4070 Ti. And in the red corner, the challenger, packing some serious next-gen muscle, the RTX 5070 Ti. Let's find out which one really deserves that prime spot in your rig.
So if you're looking at your PC right now thinking, is it time? Is it time for an upgrade? This choice is a big one. And it's not just about which card is technically faster, right? It's about which one is the smarter investment for the games you're playing today and, more importantly, the ones you're going to be playing for years to come.
Now, to settle this showdown, we're not just guessing. We're digging into a really detailed analysis from the team over at bestgpusforgaming.com. They've already crunched all the numbers, and in this explainer, we're going to break down their findings to give you the straight-up clarity you need to make the right call. Okay, we're breaking this fight down into 3 rounds. First up, we're going to look at raw performance, the pure FPS breakdown. Then, we'll dive into the tech, the features and future-proofing. And finally, we'll tackle the all-important details, price and power. All right, let's get to it.
Round 1. Let's get right into what matters most to us gamers. Raw frames per second. This is the pure, unadulterated horsepower test. Let's see what these cards can do.
We're kicking things off with an absolute monster of a game, Cyberpunk 2077. And we're not holding back. Ray tracing, that's the ultra-realistic lighting, is cranked way up. At 1440p, look at that. The 5070 Ti pulls ahead with a smooth 124 frames per second on average. The 4070 Ti, still great at 109, but that's a difference you can actually feel in one of the toughest games out there.
Okay, so what about a different kind of battlefield? Let's jump into Warzone, where every single frame counts. And yep, the trend continues. The 5070 Ti hits a blistering 235 FPS, a full 30 frames ahead of the 4070 Ti. For any competitive player out there, you know that gap is the difference between good and elite. So here's the big takeaway from all the tests over at bestgpusforgaming.com. Across a whole suite of different games, the RTX 5070 Ti is consistently about 15 to 25% faster. Let's just call it a solid 20% performance uplift. That is a huge generational leap. Round 1, well, it clearly goes to the challenger.
But listen, raw frames aren't the whole story, are they? A GPU is a long-term investment. So for round 2, we're going to look at the tech under the hood, the stuff that really determines which card is still going to feel powerful a few years from now.
And this slide right here, this shows the core generational divide. The 5070 Ti comes with 16 gigs of that newer, faster GDDR7 VRAM, and it supports DLSS4, the latest AI magic for boosting frame rates. The 4070 Ti, it's got 12 gigs of the older GDDR6X and tops out at DLSS3. These specs aren't just numbers on a page. They represent a real difference in what these cards can handle down the line.
The experts at bestgpusforgaming.com really put it perfectly here. That extra 4 gigs of VRAM on the 5070 Ti, it's not just for show. As games start using higher-res textures and get more demanding, that 12 gigs on the 4070 Ti, well, it could become a bottleneck, especially if you have any thoughts of dipping your toes into 4K.
And now for the final round, the one that often decides the winner, price and power. A great GPU has to fit your budget, for sure. But it also has to fit inside your PC and work with your power supply. So let's see how these two stack up.
The RTX 5070 Ti, being the new kid on the block, is expected to launch right around $749. So that sets the baseline price for this level of next-generation performance.
Meanwhile, the RTX 4070 Ti, the established champ, well, its price has come down. You can often find it for around $649. So you're looking at about a $100 premium to get that extra 20% performance boost and the newer tech.
But here's what's really interesting, the power situation. The 5070 Ti only draws about 15 more watts, and it just recommends a slightly larger power supply. I mean, for a 20% performance gain, that's a tiny increase in system requirements. It actually makes upgrading surprisingly painless.
So, after 3 rounds, who's the champion? Well, the truth is, it really depends on you. There isn't one single winner that's right for everyone. The right card is the one that's the champion for your specific needs and your build.
Based on all the data, we can kind of break this down for 3 types of builders. So are you the future-proofer who's building for the long haul? Or maybe you're the dedicated high-refresh 1440p gamer? Or are you the savvy deal hunter, always looking for the best bang for your buck? Let's find your recommendation.
Okay, first up, if you are building a machine to last for years, or if you have any ambition to game at 4K down the line, this is a no-brainer. The choice is the RTX 5070 Ti. Its 16 gigs of VRAM is going to be essential for future games, and getting access to DLSS 4 just ensures better performance in the long run. Easy call.
Now, what if you are purely a 1440p gamer? Well, the 5070 Ti is still the stronger performer for sure, but this is where your budget really comes into play. The 4070 Ti is still an absolute beast at this resolution. If saving that $100 lets you upgrade your CPU or maybe get a better monitor, it could absolutely be the smarter overall choice for your build.
And finally, for the deal hunter out there, the RTX 4070 Ti is your champion, but only if you find it at a steep discount. If you can snag one on a great sale, it offers incredible 1440p value. Just go into it knowing that its 12 gigs of VRAM might become a bit of a limitation in a few years.
So there you have it, a real clash of GPU generations. The choice is yours, but now you've got the data to make it with confidence. Keep it cool and keep building.
And remember, GPU prices are always changing. So for the absolute latest pricing and the full in-depth breakdown, make sure to check out the source for this whole explainer, bestgpusforgaming.com. Thanks for hanging out with us.